It's vodka.
Yeah. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
My name is Levi. I'm Itla's husband. This is my grandmother, Mrs. Tuky Treitel.
Hi.
We did not prep this before, but thankfully I know her for as long as I know myself, and she doesn't need prep.
Yeah. Baruch Hashem.
Yeah. So we have about like a half hour or so, and we'll divide it into a few parts.
Whatever you say.
First,
I do what I tell me.
we'll start with
My story.
where you grew up,
Yeah.
and then during the war where you were,
Yeah.
and then after
Whatever.
/ what you want to take away from the whole story.
First, I want to know: do the kids know what the Holocaust was? Anyone knows?
Yes.
What was it? What? Let's hear.
It's not a trick question.
It's not a trick question. Anyways, I was a very little girl when the Holocaust started. 7 years old, almost 7, not even. And we found out that they want to kill all the Jews. They didn't need us, they thought. So it's really an interesting story, but not unusual. A lot of people suffered through the Holocaust and did lot worse things than me. I don't only have a story, I have a message. The power of one. I came back one, and God was good to me, so I survived, and my family. And today I have a tribe. A tribe. Roberta, you know some of them. You great ladies probably you know some of them. And should have brought a picture because it's
It's a big tribe.
not big enough, but it's a tribe.
Getting there.
Like 100 or so.
So let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
First, where were you born?
I was born in Hungary, Budapest, as you can hear from my accent. And that's only because I speak all the time Hungarian. With my mother, I only spoke Hungarian. With my siblings, if we want to say, but my kids understand, so no more secrets.
The only word I know in Hungarian is cutie pie.
Huh? Cutie pie.
Ishtanen, right? Isn't that what it means?
Oh, it means, oh my God.
It means like, oh my gosh, oh, sorry. I know they pinched my cheek and said Ishtanen, that's all.
Yeah.
So, okay, you're born in Hungary. This is how many years before the war? Let's say it's what years?
81 years ago.
81 years ago.
A long time ago. Not long, yeah, but long. And I was a little girl, and I started school, and they said, you don't have to come tomorrow anymore because we're not allowed to walk on the streets. I come from a family of 11. At the time, we were only 8. My mother was expecting 8. I always get confused.
How many were you before the war?
8.
Eight siblings.
8 and yes, 8.
Okay, so what was your family like before the war? What did a Friday night look like? What did a Shabbos look like? What did a regular school day look like?
My family was a lot of fun family. We were not allowed toys in the house because if you're smart enough, you're going to have a good time anyway. And you know what? It lasts till this day. I have witnesses. When we get together with my siblings, it's like, and we do that often.
So no toys, 8 kids. How big is the house?
The house, actually, my parents were of means, but they didn't live in a big house because they wanted to be right near the factory. Mm-hmm. So we were there. And it was really, I don't think the door ever closed. People moved in because we lived in Budapest. Everyone from smaller towns came to Budapest to doctors, and anything important was done in Budapest.
So you
no cell phones,
no
cell phones, no reservations. All we knew is that we woke up on the floor, we checked who's sleeping in our bed.
This is from guests from neighboring towns who come spend time in Budapest for whatever reason.
They came with families. With families, they moved in, and
how many rooms do you have in your house? Bedrooms, roughly?
3.
3.
It's not enough.
8 children and guests.
It's not enough. We always slept together, and it was so nice. The first time I got my own bed when I got married. That's the first time I had my own bed. Till then, I slept with my sister. I lost a sister 2 years ago, and you won't believe it. The year before I went with her to Israel, and we slept in one bed in the Waldorf Hotel, which is a gorgeous, gorgeous hotel. Said, okay, it's fine. Said, back to where we came from.
What kind of home was your home like in terms of Jewishness? What kind of home was it?
Our home was very Jewish, very Jewish. And my father didn't have a beard, but he was very, very from. He was also a mole. You know what's a mole?
Someone who does circumcision.
Circumcisions, and he only did it for mitzvah because it's a very big mitzvah. Actually, fathers are supposed to do it. Really,
So he didn't do it because he needed.
he didn't do
Didn't
it
need it for a livelihood.
No, not at all.
He did it
He
for
did
people
it just to have another merit. That
Someone
you
else
know
needed
what's a
it, couldn't
mitzvah,
afford
good
it.
deed. Doesn't matter. He never took money for it, and he took poor people along that they should take the money. He used to say, "How much do we owe you?" He says, "He takes the money. He's my cashier." This we found out after he passed away. Somebody said, "Of course I know your father. He used to take me along to the bris." I said, "You went to bris?" I said, "Yeah, because I needed the money, and he took me."
So instead of paying him, they would pay.
Exactly.
They would pay somebody else.
Yeah. And he was also very, very, very careful with eating kosher. So he took his own chaleka mishnah and his own wine.
He would take his own food to the bris.
Yes.
Right. So, but he had, as a business, him and his brother had.
Yes, textiles. Shmata business, the original shmata business. And
Back in Hungary.
Very big, yeah.
So it's
Anyone religious in Hungary, across the country, knew who the Gestetners were. Maybe because we were noisy, we were rowdy, but they knew they came.
Do you remember anything about the school you went to?
Very little, because the school that I went to before the war was just a small. It was a religious Jewish school, but they had to stop because the war broke, and we all had to go with yellow stars. I'm sure everybody saw those, and even little children had to wear yellow stars. We were not allowed to be on the street later. There was a curfew. So, and we were not allowed to be in school. They closed down the Jewish schools.
Do you remember the first time you found out that something was going on?
I was very little. I knew that there were people who were talking and whispering and saying things, but we were not aware. But we were always frightened. Actually, a little child in Palo Alto asked me, "I'm scared when I hear it." "Were you scared?" I said, "Very scared." Not only that, but even when I was an adult, I was always. When I got married, we were looking for an apartment. The first thing I looked, where do we escape here? You know, first, this is where we come in. In my mind, I didn't say it. If I have to go out fast, here.
So already from a young age, already had that.
Yeah.
So once the war broke out.
Yeah.
Once the war broke out, and then
I was
they
sent.
knew that you wasn't safe to stay around.
Away. I was sent away to.
Who sent you?
Actually, the SS came to pick us up. Excuse me. In an open truck, and they yelled, "Everybody get into the truck, don't get dressed, don't change, you can't bring anything along." My mother quickly was very smart, and she had a quick wit about her. She wanted to put 2 dresses on us, at least we should have 2 dresses. There's no dressing, as we are. And my brother in 1 diaper, gone. And then they put my mother into a holding unit, which was more like a jail, I suppose. And the children, they divided like family services into different places. And they placed me actually to very fine. Now that I think back, there must have been 2 old maids that lived together, and I was there.
They put you in like a foster home.
I don't know what it was. That's where they put me. It was a very nice house, and I was sitting in a big brown couch and sobbing away. And when I saw my father, I said, I couldn't stop crying. He said, "What did they say?" I made sure that they didn't see, as if they didn't see. You know?
You were alone in that house?
I was alone in that house.
How long was that for?
I wouldn't know. It's very hard for me to tell time. I don't know.
A month, a week, or a day?
Not too long.
Not
too long. Then they placed me somewhere else in 3 more different places and different homes and different whatever you want. Then came one day, I'll go on with my story because you want to ask questions. Then came one day and my father said, "You're going to go away with these people and you're allowed to eat everything." It meant that I'm allowed to eat not kosher, which to me was devastating. But I still don't know what my parents did, but today I wouldn't do something that my parents don't approve of, I promise you. And my father said, "You can eat everything. And your name is no more Tuky Gestetner, you are Maria Lodic. That's the name you answer for. You don't answer any time when they say your name." So they sent me away to a farm Actually, it's in the story quite to a farm, and there I slept on the floor, not because it was poor and not because it was really a nice, clean, that I remember, because not clean I know that I didn't like. I slept on the floor with two not Jewish girls, and at night I waited always till they fall asleep so I can say Shema. Everybody knows what Shema is. If you go to ITA school, you have to know what Shema is. You know, you say at night, and in the morning you close your eyes and you thank Hashem that you're alive. And I have to tell you, before my father sent me away, he blesses us. If you ever know what that is, parents bless their children, they put their hands on their head, and this is always very hard. And my hair was wet from his tears. And he said, remember your name, you remember you're a Jewish girl. So this is how she sent me away. And I want you to know, till I didn't see my parents, I did not cry one, I did not drop of tear. I was a big crybaby. I did not cry once. But when I saw my fair parents after that, then
after
I
being
did.
separated for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
So you were in this house.
I was in this house, and I made a blessing on everything that I ate, but I ran out to the garden for something, and that's when I said it, I came back and I ate.
So
and I could never ever eat pork. I was gagging. The soup I was eating, I made a blessing on it, by the way. You know,
Nice.
It kept me alive.
And then after you came out, you went to, there was a camp you were in for a short time?
Yes, because we failed. They found out that we're Jewish. And
You were hiding in this house, that non-Jews were hiding you, and then eventually they found out?
Yes, they were hiding us, then they found us, and it's a whole big story. And then they took us up to Budapest. That's where my parents were. They were hiding in Budapest.
This is, the war still going on?
Yes,
while this all happened?
yes. And they put me into a room with ladies. It was all ladies in room. And imagine this. To me, it looked like a big room, but it wasn't. Shelves, wooden shelves. That's where people slept. That was the
bedroom.
bedroom. And that's all it was. And they brought me in, and I was scrawny and little and shy. And a lady saw me. She was on that side, on my right side from me, but the left side. And she lost it. She, like demented, screaming, "There are children alive. I want my child." So they took me out of the room because she totally lost it. She's, that scream, horrible. There are still children alive. I want my child. And she was screaming. So they took me out of there, and they didn't know where to put me. So there was one unit downstairs in the basement, and I didn't say that on the same farm, like right next to it was my cousin and my brother.
Before you went to this place, in the farm that you
Before
were hiding,
on the farm,
you were hiding
going
with
back,
your brother and your cousin.
Rewind, yeah. There, and my parents, my two sisters married two brothers, so we were always together. We had the same name, same cousins.
Your cousins.
So they were also there.
No, your cousins were your cousins from both your parents.
Yes, and since we failed, we were also sent up to Budapest. So the boys were put separately, and the girls. But since they had to take me out of the place, so they put me down into a basement. And whoever was in the basement, after 2 weeks, they sent them to Germany or to Auschwitz to eliminate them.
The basement meant you were...
Yes, that was the thing. So the basement was there. So picture this, there was only a spring. Not a mattress, not a cover, not a nothing. Just a spring. Everybody had a spring. And the ensuite bathroom was a big pail in the corner. That was it. And you know what, it didn't even bother you when you're in it already. Maybe I was little, so it didn't. Then the door opens up, and I don't remember if someone told me or if I dreamt it, "Don't go away from here." And the door opens up, and stands an SS with his folder, and ticks off the names, and I march up to him. I even had a speech impediment, and I told him, I'm sorry, I can't leave from here because I have 2 little brothers. They can't tie their shoelaces, and they can't say, I didn't want to say, I said Modani, but I came to the window, I saw their legs, I put their feet in, and I tied their shoelaces. I said Modani with them, and whatever blessing I remembered.
Every morning your cousins would come to the window and you tie their shoes and make the blessings with them.
Yeah, my brother and my cousins. So I said, I can't leave from here. My father is in the army, totally fabrication, and my mother is sick in the hospital. I can't leave here. And he felt sorry for me in SS, and he hid me behind the door. And that's why I'm here now, because all the others did not come back.
Oh. Do you remember the moment when your father came to pick you up then?
He didn't pick me up. I went every day to the office, which they made fun of me, and I said my name. My father was of means, and he was also very clever. He bought a Mercedes-Benz for an SS. So I kept on going to the office, and they were making fun of me. My name is Mariana Gestetner. Do you have a package for me?
Every day asking for a package.
Every single day they said, here she comes. They were giggling and laughing and teasing me, but I didn't give up. And I think that's how he found, and he sent an SS that we were asked for questioning.
The people in the office knew your name because you were nudging them every day.
I suppose.
So then that's how they came looking for him.
Because nobody had names during the war, by the way. That's why Hitler made sure that they have numbers, just to demoralize them and to make them less human. So they only had a number. Nobody had an identity or a name. Like my name wasn't a name. I don't have a number. In Hungary, they didn't put numbers.
So when did you see your parents after all this? First? Where were you when you first saw them?
They took us, I don't know, like an SS came and picked us up and took us. There was
us means you and your family, or just
my brother, my cousin.
Your brother, and your cousin.
And if you read about the Holocaust, there was Kastner, and there was right. So
the Kastner train is a deal the Zionists made to get people out of Hungary.
Also, and there was another one. They even killed him after the war. Now it escapes me. Anyways, there was the Swedish. King was very sympathetic, and he also wore a yellow star for solidarity. And he said whoever is a Swedish subject cannot be harmed anywhere. So there was in Budapest, it was called the Glass House, the Crystal House. It was called the Swedish Protected House, and we qualified because you're all too young, you wouldn't know that the first duplicating machine was a Gestetner machine, which was developed in my grandfather's house, and there was a Gestetner asking mothers if they know, or fathers, they knew. Every office had a Gestetner machine.
A copy machine?
Yeah. And there was a Gestetner office. It was all over the world. So we qualified because we said because Gestetner, so we're Swedish subjects.
Because the company existed in Sweden.
And at the end, the SS, I mean, they lost the war. They were fighting from street to street, and we knew politics so much as little kids. Which street are they on? So the Hungarians were very, very helpful to the SS. They didn't want them to be too tired, I suppose, so they helped very much. And they lined up all the Jews by their shoes there by the Danube and shot them in.
The Hungarians did this, didn't they?
The Hungarians, sure. 1 or 2 SS and the Hungarians were volunteering.
So SS brought you to the Swedish house. Your parents were already there?
Yes, but my parents were in the Swedish house and they brought us there. And from there they took us to the ghetto. Because
back to Budapest?
Yeah, we were in Budapest. They marched us to the ghetto.
And there you stayed till...
As bombs were falling like rain. You could just see all over. Bodies all over the streets with signs on them. This is what all the Jews will look like.
Right. So then liberation comes and you move to... Your family moves to Montreal. Why did your family end up in Montreal? Out of all places?
Because actually wanted to go to the United States. It didn't work out.
They wanted to go to the States?
And we wanted to be safe. Everybody felt over the ocean it's safe. A lot of people went to Australia because they wanted to be very far away. And we came here, and I'm very happy we came here. I'm very, very grateful.
Okay, so fast forward.
And communism came. They couldn't do anything. They were nationalizing the factory. They were nationalizing my father's place, companies. And
so communism took over Hungary. They'd like for you to stay for anyway. So once you came to Canada, fast forward, you get married to Zayda. We have children and grandchildren.
Thank God.
So what's the message and what's the takeaway?
The message which I always say to everybody, we each and every one count. One good deed a day makes the world a better world. Each and all of you you're gorgeous. You don't have to look like your friend. You have to look like yourself. You're all beautiful. You're fantastic. And we all have to do just one good thing a day. And it makes a difference in the whole world. That's my message to all of them. There's nothing else. Every story ends and begins this way. If you're decent, you're good, be kind to each other. And just make one nice thing a day. Do a favor for somebody. Help an old lady. When I'll be old, I'll count on you.
Does anybody want to ask anything before we
Any
close?
questions? You're too shy? What would you do in my place, on such a place? What would you have done? And that, of course, on the street, everybody beat us up. It was like you had to. And my brother, speaking about PTS, who is 85 years old. I'm making it old. He takes off his kippah. If you close your eyes, you could see he's Jewish. If you don't look, you know he's Jewish. Takes it off at the border. I said, why do you do that? And when we get to the border, he tells, you take over. They'll arrest me. I'm sure they will arrest me. And they always stop when he's at the steering. He sits at the steering. They stop us. He stutters. He can't breathe that they ask him a question.
From the
He
memory.
can't say his name without.
Right.
It's the memory. That's real PTS.
So you must have had such moments of sadness and
No, not at all.
while you were away from your parents.
Oh, then that was terrible.
So
Oh,
how
I
did
thought
you-
today.
What did you do to kind of remain hopeful?
I just want to repeat the question, just for the mic. The question was, since you experienced such sadness when you were younger, how do you remain hopeful now?
How did
Or then, how did you remain hopeful then?
It's
Okay,
very
sorry.
hard for me to tell. I was very young. I don't know. Why? Because when you're young, even when you're older, you feel you're infallible. Nothing bad is ever going to happen. No, you drive like a maniac, not you, God forbid, like a maniac, and nothing is going to happen to me. Because that's the way God created us. Sad? No. I choose to be very happy to wake up in the morning.
Can you elaborate on that? What do you mean you choose?
What?
You choose.
I absolutely choose to be it's a conscious they ask me how I am. I said I made a conscious decision to be fine. I have no stress, I decide not to have stress. There is something there I can do, a step back. If I can't help it, what's my hysteria going to help? I mean, don't listen to me, maybe it's not such a good advice, but it will definitely not help. I tried it. I tried.
So being happy is not something you're going to get to. It's something you have to decide to be.
That I wake up, I promise you that God knows that I'm so thrilled to be awake. I'm getting another chance, another day. Can you imagine? I go a little bit in hospitals. I was just telling my sister, I said, I'm embarrassed to be strolling out of there. They're stuck and I'm walking around like prancing around. I almost want to apologize to them. So it's a choice. What else? What else? Being sad, it doesn't accomplish anything. I want to accomplish. I don't know. I did, look.
You did pretty good.
That's not my accomplishment, it's a gift. It's a gift. So that's what it is.
Yeah.
Why don't you have a number on your head?
Because I only did it in Auschwitz. I did not do it, not even in all the camps did they do it. In Hungary, they didn't do it. They hoped that we won't be able to survive. They wanted to kill us before they didn't want to waste it on us.
Germany got to Hungary at the end of the war, so they were taking Jews quickly. They didn't have
you
time.
can't imagine. It was unbelievable. Eichmann arrived to Hungary with 200 SS for a whole country. They killed 450,000 Jews in 4 months. 200 people could not do that. No.
They had Hungarian help.
Sure. Yes.
Did you ever try to look for any relatives?
I have relatives, thank God.
Like siblings or
No, listen, you mean relatives that were lost?
Yes.
We always try to look for them, and we were always hoping that they will come back. We were lucky. We went back to Hungary, and we survived the whole war. My whole family survived.
All 11 siblings.
My daughter wrote my story, and it's a book, and it's sold out on Amazon. You can still get it on Amazon. And there it says, all the details, but we all looked, always. Everybody always looked for it. I have cousins that I just met on the street. A husband and a wife. They just met on the street, walking afterwards.
The reason why I'm asking is because my grandfather was
A survivor?
one of 18 kids. And actually, Robin is a cousin of mine. And so her grandmother and my grandfather, 2 out of the 18 children, ran away like on a bicycle together to, I can't remember what country.
Poland?
So, but they were
What
never
was the
able
name?
to locate anyone.
That's
their
terrible. I
siblings
know.
or-
I know. There's so many sad stories. What I always think of, how many children were sent away and the parents didn't make it. Actually, last month I was in Florida. I met a lady, and she was telling me that she was found. She was a baby, 8 months old. And how was she found? I said, how were you found? And I asked her, I said, you mind if I ask? She said, no, I'll tell you very gladly. She was, I didn't tell you this, this is just now when I was with Mitzvah in Florida. She was a baby, and her mother gave her away to the cleaning lady. And after the war, the Jayas and some rabbis went to all kinds of small towns looking for Jewish children and things. And this woman comes out, she says, this baby was given to me, the mother promised she'll come back, she'll pay me a lot of money. She didn't come to get her. You have to pay me. She says, we're not paying you, we're giving you some money, but we're taking the baby. So I asked her, I says, how do you know that your name is Javi? She says, I don't. Lieberman, she knew that she's Lieberman.
How'd you know that?
The mother told her. She knew who she worked for. And her name was Eva, so they gave me Javi. She says now she has children, she's married, she's religious. As a matter of fact, her son wears a Streimel in Brooklyn. I had a long schmooze with her, and she was so happy. She's so clinging, interesting. Can you imagine? So many times I say, so many children were not picked up. What happened to those? So, we have no reason to be sad. You can get up and walk. It's good. It's only good. And if you can do something nice for somebody else, it's even better.
Thank you, Baba.
My pleasure. If this is what you wanted to hear,